couple hard fact truths that we came into this marriage with. One of them was no other human relationship or organization comes before this marriage.
Absolutely.
So no other person, friendship, family member, or organization, job, anything comes before this marriage. And by that we mean, if, just on a small scale, if we're being pulled in a bunch of different directions and something's got to give, one of those other things are going to give for the sake of preserving our relationship and our romance.
Exactly.
Another hard, fast truth that we hold true is we wake up in the morning knowing every day the devil is trying to destroy our marriage.
Oh, absolutely. The devil hates marriage, and we cannot be blind to that fact, and we can't, close our ears and close our eyes to what's going on out there and pretend like the devil isn't real. He is very real. God is real, and the devil is real too. And whatever God puts together, the devil is always going to try to destroy, because that's his job. That's his whole 24-hour job. Is to steal, kill, steal, kill, and destroy, and he's pretty good at it. So that's why we have to be even better and be vigilant about preserving our relationships, and we just don't let the devil in. And we do our best, and yes, we're human and we make mistakes, but we do our best to close up any doors, seal all cracks to the enemy, and by that means that we go above and beyond board. Even if it seems extreme to other people. Yeah, I feel like that's another thing. We don't feel like anything is too extreme to think about marriage. Exactly. I was listening to a pastor today, and he was talking about how to, pretty much how to live above reproach in a world that's all about reproach. There's a lot of scandal in the world today. So how can you live above scandal as a believer? And he went on to say that, he's a prominent minister, and he said that him and his wife came into agreement that he wasn't going to ever be seen alone in public with another female that wasn't a family member, like his daughter or his sister or something like that. But any other female that might work in their ministry or might be a friend, whatever, he would never be alone with that person. And he said not because he feels like he's so weak, or even the female, is a bad person or have any ill intention. It's just that we don't want to have the appearance of evil, and we don't want to give the devil any opportunity to create an opportunity for failure. Because again, we live in these human bodies, and you never know, you might have a tired day, a weak day, or whatever the case. We just don't want to give the devil any ammunition. We don't want to have a tired day. Exactly. We don't want to give him the gun to shoot us. You know what I mean? So here's the thing, right? Because a lot of times we talk about where your relationship should have trust. So it's like, well, do you look at your spouse's phone? Do you allow them to have friendships with I trust like that? My husband 100%.
But this is the thing, it's not about trust. You're asking the wrong question. It's about protection.
Exactly.
You trust your children to drive, but you still require them to wear seatbelts. The law requires you to wear a seatbelt. A smaller child, you trust your children to ride a bike, but you still put the helmet on. We still have speed limits, even though we're trusting everybody to get in their cars and not crash into each other. You have life insurance. All these things are in place for what? For protection. Because one thing that we all know to be true, no matter who you are, what your belief system is that the world is full of threats. And if there's a possibility of the threat, someone will be done harm, whether it's by someone else on purpose or by accident. Threats exist, and so we protect ourselves from threats on purpose because no one is above threat. Everyone is, the potential of threat affects everyone. So you put in precautions to protect yourself and lessen the chances of that threat taking advantage of you and doing you harm. So in your marriage, this infant marriage, especially when you first get married, that God put together, and there is this evil being who takes no prisoners called the devil, who wants to destroy it every day that you wake up, that is a threat. And so it has nothing to do with whether or not we trust each other. We don't trust the devil. Matter of fact, we trust the devil to be who he's always been since the beginning of time. Like you said, the devil's very effective. I can David, Solomon, Samson,
the man next door,
Moses, everybody. Like I'm listing these high dollar names because these are people who we see as great men and women of God in the Bible who all came under threat. I mean, even Jesus was tempted. Adam and Eve getting on perfect in that at the beginning of man, and they fell. So it doesn't matter who you are or how tight you are with God, how good relationship you got. We put preachers on pedestals, and whenever a scandal does come out, it's like, oh, how could you? Because they're a human being.
Exactly.
And I'll never excuse the failure, but the point is, they were a human being.
It can happen to anyone when you let your guard down.
Yeah, for a second. And sometimes, and that's why you got to put guards up. You got to be extreme, because sometimes you're like, well, I didn't let my guard down, but you didn't have enough guards up.
Exactly.
You've got to assume the
Always.
worst. You got to assume that the devil is after you and that he's going to try to weasel any way in. So we say, well, I would never cheat on my spouse, or I would never do this, I would never do that. Yes, you don't need to say that. You don't need to say I would never do it, because if you are a human body and you are physically working, all your attributes are working, you are capable of it. So it ain't a matter of whether or not you're thinking in this state of mind right now.
It's just the right opportunity hasn't presented itself. The right scenarios hasn't built itself. The foundation hasn't been built for it yet.
Yeah.
But if you go a long time without building a proper foundation for your relationship and guarding it against the enemy, that foundation is being built, even if you don't realize it right now.
Yeah.
So that's why in the beginning of your relationship, you have to start building guards and protection for your relationship, because it's vital for its survival.